Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This has been a very interesting hearing for a myriad of reasons. Mayor Bowser, thanks for being here with us. I do appreciate you taking the time today. It was said earlier that in 1973, Congress did pass the DC Home Rule Act. It is known on Capitol Hill, is known, quite frankly, through our entire constitutional republic, that any Congress cannot bind a future Congress. Just like at the state level, a legislature cannot bind a future legislature. That something that is enacted can be modified or undone in the future. I was able to have a conversation with a lot of the people from the Free DC organization. Some of them might still be in the room today. And that was the constant point that we came back to. That yes, under the law passed in 1973, your position was created, the DC City Council's position was created, but the ultimate authority for the federal district is still the United States Congress, and with the signature of the President of the United States. Would you agree with that assessment?
I would agree. I would agree, and I would also add it's within the power of this Congress to advance the DC statehood bill. By simple majority, this Congress can, like it has done for every state in the union outside of the first 13, admit DC as a state.
I'm glad you actually brought that up, because one of the reasons why I opposed the DC statehood bill is because the Constitution and the framers were actually quite clear that they did not want the federal district per se to be leveraged by a state or any state. And I think I had conversations with several residents of DC who were walking through the halls of Capitol Hill when then Speaker Pelosi was bringing that up. And I asked them two very important questions. If you want to have representation, why don't we allow that property to be re-annexed by the state of Maryland, which actually provided the land for the federal district to be created? Or would the citizens of the District of Columbia prefer not to be subject to federal income taxes as a result of them not having, quote unquote, representation? What's your thought on that?
I do think it's time to talk about what the district pays and what we get back. I do think it's time to have that conversation.
And that's a fair conversation to have. I got a couple questions for you. Let's get to the business of the matter. Since President Trump authorized the National Guard to be in D.C., how much has crime decreased in the District of Columbia?
I think it's important, and I've noticed that this has happened throughout this conversation, that you talk about the National Guard and you don't talk about federal law enforcement. And the federal surge consisted of federal law enforcement, which MPD works with all the time. I'm talking about the FBI, the DEA.
Mayor Bowser, I'm really not trying to disrespect you, but how much has crime decreased?
Oh, I mentioned already and let me look at my numbers, that the federal surge produced a 39% decrease in violent crime.
39% decrease in violent crime in the nation's capital.
Let me just add, that's on top of the 6% decrease that we were already experiencing.
So it seems that the president's surge was more effective than your own efforts. Wouldn't you say?
It accelerated.
Last time I checked, 39% is way higher than 26%. But let me move on.
But the full statistic is a little different.
Chairman Mendelson, I didn't ask you a question.
I know,
Relax,
but the full statistic is a little different.
Actually, Chairman, let me ask you this question, because you butted in, now let me ask you.
Sure.
What is the current status of the Metropolitan Police Department in terms of staffing? How many officers do you have on the beat?
I believe it's less than 3,100.
Okay.
Which is much lower than it should be.
Is the MPD fully staffed?
In my view, no.
Question. Hold that point. Here's the question. So is a surge of federal law enforcement into the federal enclave, which the mayor has acknowledged is the primary responsibility of the federal government, isn't it simple logic to say that the president's surge has been helpful to safety and security in the District of Columbia, Chairman?
The additional law enforcement resources has been good. We work with those different agencies all the time. There was more of it, more of a good thing. National Guard is separate, ICE is separate.
Question for you, Chairman. You just said you said something I want to expound. You've been working with the federal government during this surge
and before
that was brought by President Trump and before. So you've been working with him through this entire time.
With the federal, like DEA, FBI,
okay.
MPS Park Police.
Mayor Bowser, you would concur that you guys have been working with the President of the United States throughout this entire period, correct?
Mr. Donalds, you know I work with every president.
I know, but I'm trying to establish a baseline.
In Trump 1 and in Trump 2.
And I thank you for that, Mayor Bowser.
Yes, that is our job. We all stand ready to work with we're unique. The District of Columbia is unique in
Mayor
that we're
Bowser,
always going to have
Mayor
a
Bowser, I'm out of
relationship
time, so I
with
got to
them.
reclaim.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
apologize.
Yep.
I agree, Mayor Bowser.
Yes.
The district is unique. The district is not like any other city in the United States. It is the federal enclave. I commend you and your team for working with the President of the United States to keep the district safe. I really do. I think it's important for a lot of people who are saying that they're upset with the president that your own mayor and your own chairman of the city council has acknowledged that crime has gone down while working with the president. Let's work together. Let's give peace a chance. I yield back.
Mr. Chair.